Lift and roll the shoulders, press the feet down, and then breathing in, turn the head to the left, turning head to the right, into the left, and out to the right. Come back to the center. Bring the hands to the heart center, and breathing in, hands up, stretch up. Look up if that's available to you. And then breathing out, lower the hands, soften the knees. And breathing in, hands up, lower. And then hands up again, palms together this time. And come through to the heart center. Breathing in here and breathing out. And then lower the hands, lift and roll the shoulders, step with your feet to a decent length. Breathing in, hands out, breathing out, soften the knees, come back down to the earth with your hands, come forward, and then hold the elbows. Let the head go. Breathing in and breathing out. And then soften the knees, let the arms go, press down with your feet and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, arms up, almost like a star shape, looking to the sun, connecting to the heart and the solar plexus area, and then breathing out, lower the hands. Breathing in, hands up again, and we come to this very familiar twist. So a really exaggerated twist, hand over the shoulder, back of the hand, the waist, and then just in your own time, your own breath pattern, you can lift your heels or not, entirely up to you. Moving all the 5 energies. And then start to slow the twisting down and then come to a gradual standstill. Come to bring your feet more to hip distance apart, and then lift and roll your shoulders. And this time a much more subdued bouncing, so just let the heels come to the ground. It's a vibration that it sets up. You don't have to lift your whole foot off the floor, but if you want to, that's fine. The vibration sets up a movement from the feet to the head, and it's the antithesis of stagnation. And then just release and roll the shoulders. And then this switches to what we did the other week and comes into the Kerala Warrior series. It's the same movement, but you put your hands out. It's probably more exhausting, but a few. So, and then we're supposed to go round in a circle. And then come back and just release. Lift and roll your shoulders. Hands together at the heart center. And we're going to come to start this sequence in child's pose. So coming to your, bending your knees and coming down to the mat. Big toes maybe together, knees a little bit wider apart. And come to child's pose. So you can have your arms in front of you, stretching out, or you can have your hands upturned. And if that's too much, then have your hands in a fist and rest your hands on your forehead. You're stretching the lower back. You're breathing into the back. Well, the focus of the breath is more into the back here. It's calming for the nervous system. then very gently press your hands down to bring you up into a kneeling tabletop position. And just take your time to settle your hands under your shoulders, knees a hip width apart. And breathing in, dipping the back, looking forwards or up. Breathing out, round in the back, the chin comes to the chest. And just do that a few times in your own breath pattern. Beginning to warm through the spine. As you dip your back, you're stretching your abdominal area. Feel when you're rounding your back that you're connecting to your kidneys, your breath connects to your kidneys. And then come to a neutral tabletop position again. And sliding your right foot back, tuck the right toes under, opening your lung meridians. And then turn to look over your left shoulder, and then come to turn to look over your right shoulder. And just do that a couple of times, turning to the left, and then turning to the right. And then coming back to the centre, and then just lowering the right knee back down to the earth. And tucking the toes, coming into the first downward dog. Extend the knees when you're up. Keep them bent if that's not appropriate, if that's more appropriate for you, and then walk the dog by bending the feet. Bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Stretch back with both legs, then come to kneel back down onto the earth. Bring your hands to the left, giving space for your right foot to come up. Bring your hands to either side of your right foot. Maybe bring your right foot out more to the right if you need to for your balance, and your left toes can be flat on the ground or tucked under, again your choice. And then kneel up, open the palms to the ceiling, and then stretching the arms up, looking either forward or up, depending on your neck capacity, stretching up. And then breathing out, lower the hands and bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Right hand on the waist, turning to look to the right, opening out the right shoulder. You can stay like this. If you're more energetic, you can, and have the capacity in your shoulder, you can raise your right arm. You can look at the ground, look straight ahead or look up. And then if you're very energetic, you can tuck your left toes under and lift up your left knee. Your hand can stay up or on your right waist at any point. And then very gently bring your head back down to centre, hands in front of you, and then step back your right foot once more into downward dog. Walking the dog. Bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Stretch back with both feet, both legs, extend the back, and then bend the knees, coming back down to the earth. And hands go to the right, stepping up the left foot. Hands to either side of the left foot. Just stretching into the left hip. And then coming maybe to bring your left foot out more to the edge of the mat if you need that for support. Your back right foot could be tucked under or flat. And then kneeling up high, opening the palms and looking up, opening the shoulders here. Bring your head to upright and then extend your arms up. It's a half moon. You can stay like this, or you can join your thumbs and almost arc back in a crescent moon shape. And then bring your head to center. Bring your left hand to your left waist and your right hand goes to the inside of your left foot and turn towards the left. And then you can stay here. You can raise the left arm up to the left. You can look down, straight ahead or up. And if you're very energetic, you can tuck your right toes under and lift your right knee in a twist. And then very gently, if you've come up, lower your right knee down to the ground. Left hand comes down. Slide your left foot back. And then come once more into your downward dog. And extend your back, then begin to lengthen your legs. Your feet can come closer to your hands, your feet can come wider. Just pedal your feet. And then soften your knees and walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Just soften your knees and enjoy just hanging forward, the backs of your hands on the ground. Just letting the neck go. And then very gently roll up, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. And once you're up, lift and roll your shoulders. And then raise the hands up, join the thumbs, and come to swaying palm tree. And then come to the center, lower the hands. And we're going to come to tree versions. So there are many versions of this. You can keep your foot on the floor at all times, but standing on your left foot, for the moment keep your toes or your big toe on the ground and open out your right leg, hands together at the heart center. And then you can either stay like this, or you can raise your right leg to the inside of your left leg. You can raise your hands up, that's an option, as long as it doesn't disturb your balance. And you can have your hands together or outwards, again, if that helps your balance. And then very gently come back to lowering your hands, releasing them, lowering and releasing your foot. Just slightly sway from side to side before we come to the other side. And then standing when you're ready on your right foot and coming to bring your left knee out to the side. Hands at the heart center in prayer. And then lift your left leg up or not, according to your balance. You can lift your hands if you need to, or would like to, or you can open them up. And then very gently lower the hands back down alongside you. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then just soften the knees and bring the hands up. You're not going to, almost as if you're going to sit down for a moment. It engages the abdominal muscles, and then just stand up and just circle the hands down. And then just open and close the hands. So we're going to come to Warrior 1 modification and then go into Humble Warrior. So come to step your right foot forward. Your right foot can go out to the edge of the mat if you need to, and your left foot goes out at an angle of 45 degrees, but you can also lift your back left foot if you need to. Up to you. It gives you a better tone, but then it unbalances you more. And hands on the waist, just to make sure that we're lifting up at the chest. Just take an in and an out breath here. Your front right knee is slightly bent, and your right knee is aiming towards your big and second toes. And then breathing in, raising the arms up. This is warrior one. You can look ahead or look up. If you've lifted your head up, bring it back to the center. And a humble warrior is coming forward, aligning your torso over your right leg, weight into the back heel, and hands, palms up behind you. Sense that you're leading with your chest. Breathing in, pressing the feet down to come up to warrior one, soften the front right knee, and do that a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And make the next one the last one. And then lower the hands, step the right foot back, press the feet into the ground and hands together at the heart center. Circle the arms up, raise the hands and almost go arch slightly back. Look up if that works for you. And then hands together at the heart center, come through the center. Come to bend the knees, bend the elbows and hands on the shins, breathing in, lengthening the back from the tailbone to the top of the head, breathing out, soften the knees, soften the elbows. Breathing in, lengthening again. And then breathing out, stay where you are. And breathing in, roll up, vertebra by vertebra to standing, lift and roll the shoulders. And we'll come to the other side, so stepping the left foot forward, feel that you can bring it out to the edge of the mat. Your back right foot is out at about 45 degrees and it's either flat or lifted, depending on how that works for you. And start again by bringing the hands onto the waist, lifting the chest. Soften the left knee towards the big toe and just enjoy the breath. And then coming to the warrior one, breathing in, raising your hands up, looking either ahead or up, depending again on your neck capacity. Enjoy the stretch. And then we come to humble warrior, so bring the head upright and breathing out, lower your arms, bring your torso aligning over the left knee and hands, palms up behind you, lengthening, leading from the chest, lengthening your back, looking at your big toe, your left big toe, breathing in, press your feet down to come back to warrior one, soften front left knee, and then just a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And then make the next one the last one. When you're ready, lower your arms and step the left foot back to the right. Lift and roll the shoulders, and once more just sway from side to side. And then come to stand still. Bring the hands to the heart center again. Circle the arms up, stretch up. Hands together at the palm center, at the palms together, and then bend your knees, soften your elbows, come through the heart center. So place your hands on the shins, half lift. Breathe out, soften your knees and soften your elbows. Breathing in, half lift again. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And again, raising the hands up, stretch your fingers and lower the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders. Come to the top of your mat, hands together at the heart center. Circle the hands up, stretch up. Breathe out, bring the hands through the center, bend the knees. Step back with your right foot, your left foot, you're in plank, you're in a straight line, your heels are up. And then instantly drop your knees down to the ground. Bring your bottom towards your heels, you're stretching out your arms. Elbows in as you lead with the chest coming forward, dipping through into a dipped back cow, rounding your back, bringing bottom back to the heels once more, stretching out. Elbows in, lead with the chest, dip with the back, rounding, bottom towards the heels, stretching out. And then leading with the chest. Next time you come back to round, tuck your feet under and come into your downward dog. Extending the back, extending the feet, and then walking the dog. Bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Bend both knees to the ground. Breathing in, dipping the back, looking up. Breathing out, rounding the back. Heels, bottom comes towards the heels. Breathing in, leading with the chest. Coming to dip the back, and as you round the back, tuck the toes and come once more into your downward dog. Walking the dog. And then come into kneeling, and then walk your hands slightly forward to come into up dog. Looking either forward or looking up. Stretching out the front of the body. And then coming back. And coming to puppy pose. And puppy pose is bottom up in the air, sliding the hands forward. Your elbows can be on the ground. And just stretching out the upper back. For a couple of breaths here. And then walk both hands to the right. Place your left hand on top of your right and just stretch out the left side. Bringing your bottom, it's still high, but you might bring your bottom back slightly to get that sweet spot of a lovely stretch. And then walk your hands back to the centre and then walk over to the left. Right hand goes on top of the left and you're stretching out your right side. And then bring your hands back to centre in tabletop. Come to tabletop. And breathing in, raise the right arm up. And as you come to breathe out, turn the right palm upwards and slide it behind your left hand, coming onto your right shoulder and the right side of the head. Your left hand can stay where it is, or it can just slightly go to the diagonal edge of the mat. just to roll you to the side. You can stay here, or if you'd like to, and you've got the balance, you can extend your left toes, tucking underneath the toes. Just stay here for an in and an out breath. And then lower the left knee. Press down to bring yourself back up to tabletop. Just sway the bottom from side to side. And make any adjustments that you need to as we come to the other side by raising the left arm up, sliding the left arm palm up behind the right arm and coming onto the left shoulder, left side of the head. The right hand can stay where it is or slide more to the diagonal edge of the mat. And then you can extend optionally your right leg behind you, tucking the right toes under. And then very gently bend the right knee and gently come in, come back out again, come back to tabletop. And then come onto the tummy into Sphinx Pose. That's bending the elbows are on the ground. Press your elbows down and as if you're almost pulling yourself forward a little bit, like a millimetre. And then just turn your head from side to side. Just relax the bottom, you're not engaging anything here. Come to bring your head back to the centre. And then come to lying, hands to either side of you, your chest, elbows in. Come back to kneeling. Come to downward dog for a nanosecond. And then bend the knees, bring the left knee to the ground and slide the right knee forward so that you're coming to a half pigeon, sliding the left leg back. So depending on your hip capacity, you can bring your right leg out to the right to make it more pigeony and your left and your right foot would go to the left. And you can start by sitting up on your fingertips, looking forward. And then there's the option to elongate and come forward over the right hip. Entirely optional, and come down to wherever works for you. You can have your hands stacked in a fist. Very good for opening the hips, of course. You can stay static or slightly sway from side to side. If you're very flexible, you can stretch your arm down in front of you. It's a greater stretch, or whatever works for you. And just enjoy the next couple of breaths here. Before we come to bring the hands back, slide the right leg back, so that you're once more on tabletop, and then tucking the toes underneath. We're going to come into downward dog again, stretching out, and this time as we come down to the earth, the right knee comes to the earth and the left knee slides forward, maybe slides out to the left. Depending on your capacity, slide the right foot back and come into pigeon on this side. Lifting up. And then when you're ready, you can stay like this or you can elongate, lengthening over your left leg. And come to have your hands wherever works for you. I've got my hands stacked one on top of each other, resting my forehead on my stacked hands. And then very gently, when you're ready, place your hands down, come up again, slide your left knee back. And then come to bring your bottom to the side, and we're going to come to a seated position with the legs out in front of us. Before we come onto our backs, so just bounce the knees. Just toes forward and toes up a couple of times. And then circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. Just bang your big toes together. That Kundalini vibration aspect again. And then just hold onto your right leg and just swing your right leg, just lubricating the knee joint. And hug your right knee into the chest and open it out to the right. Hands over your left hand goes over your right toes, and just waggle your toes up and down. And then if you're able to, just thread your fingers through your toes. That might not be great, so otherwise stay with just the hands over your toes, and just again manually move your feet backwards and forwards. You can circle them as well, one direction and then the other direction. And then harder is just to relax your hands and let your feet do some of the work, moving up and down. And then release. And then just cradle your right knee with your right elbow and use your left hand to lift your leg off your left leg, and just hold your right foot and do a circle, circling your ankle one way and then circling your ankle the other way. And then just support your right leg as you slide it out. Just bounce your legs, either pat or rub your legs. And then come to the other side as you hug your left knee into the chest. Just drop the hands to sway the left knees up, backwards and forwards, a hinge joint, just lubricating the knee joint. And then supporting the left leg as you hug in and open out to the left. Hands over the left foot with your right hand, and just move the toes up, backwards and forwards. If you're not squeamish, you can then thread your fingers through the toes and then just open them up, backwards and forwards, or circle them around, getting into the sinuses, and then at the very bottom where the toes join the body of the foot is your lung meridian, or is your lung meridian area. And then just supporting your left leg with your left elbow to lift it off your right leg, and just with your right hand circle the left ankle in one direction and then circle the ankle in the other direction. And then supporting the left leg, place the left foot on the floor, slide the left foot out, and then just bounce your legs again. And if you'd like to rub yourself, rub your arms, and you're very welcome to do so. So just cleansing off the aura, just almost like a dry skin brushing. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, and we're going to come to lying. Knees bent, feet hip width apart. Before we come to bridge, we're just going to hands either palms down or resting on your abdomen, sway the knees from side to side. Just your feet can be wide and hip width apart. You're lifting your hips off the ground as you go from one side to the other, letting the weight of your pelvis massage across your lower back, the top of your bottom. And then optionally you can bring your head to join into, and it doesn't matter really whether your head goes with the direction of the knees, or more yogically, your head would go away from the direction of the knees. So again, whatever comes naturally to you works, that's fine. Really give the weight of your head to the ground. And you've then got some acupressure points at the back of the head, just where you roll from side to side, which is really quite soothing. This comes within the somatic movement, where the idea is to feel the movement, the weight of the body, and you're taking your mind out of the movement. So it becomes more of a mindfulness exercise and is very calming for the nervous system. And then very gently come back to the centre, and we're going to do a couple of pelvic tilts. So you might like to bring your feet slightly closer to the bottom, hands palms down this time, and just flatten your back, lifting your bottom, and then just release, bringing the tailbone towards the ground, and a little gap appears at under your spine. And again, flattening the back, and then releasing. And flattening the back, and releasing. Staying where you are, raise your arms up, above and behind you, and just relax the backs of the hands onto the ground. Your chin is down. And pressing your feet into the ground, actually lift your bottom off the ground, lifting up as little or as much as you would like. And then leaving your arms above you, lower your bottom back down to the ground, vertebra by vertebra. Your arms are still above you, opening up onto the upper lymphatic system. And then once more flattening your back, pressing down with your feet, lifting your bottom as little or as much as you would like. Your chin comes more into your chest. Feel that your knees are going straight ahead, almost as someone's holding your legs. And then this time, as you lower your back, vertebra by vertebra, back down to the ground, lower your hands down as well, and then hug the knees into the chest. Both knees into the chest, holding them with your hands, and then just rocking from side to side. And hug both knees into the chest, and just release them to arm's length. And do that a couple of times, moving the rock to up and down this time. And then holding the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg along the mat. Apanasana variation. Just enjoy a couple of breaths here, your knee hugging into your chest. And you might like to circle the knee a couple of times in one direction, moving the top of the leg and the hip socket, and then circle the knee a couple of times in the other direction. And still holding the right knee, take the entire body over to the left, placing your right foot on top of your left thigh. You might actually use your elbow to roll to the left. Your right hand can come on the right waist. Your left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh. You can look up or to the right, very relaxed. Your hand, if you'd like to explore a little bit further, can come up slightly with a bent elbow diagonally to the edge of the mat, or it can come totally stretching up above you. And if you really want to open out, you can open your right hand out like a book, palm down, really stretch, that's quite strong, and looking either up or again along the right arm. So lots of variations there. Remembering to extend your left heel, to engage the leg muscles. You don't too much, but just a slight engagement. And breathing in and out. Any rotation is realigning for the spine as you stretch one side, and then of course we're going to stretch the other side. So gently coming onto your back and hugging your right knee into your chest once more. Hugging your left knee into your chest, just rocking from side to side. Just make any adjustments that you need to. And this time let the right leg extend along the mat, extending the right heel, hugging the left knee into the chest. Apana on the left side. And then just very gently circle the left knee a few times in one direction. And then circle the left knee a few times in the other direction. And then hugging the left knee into the chest, rock the entire body and the left knee goes over towards the right. Your left hand can start being on your left waist, your right hand can be somewhere along the outside of your left thigh. Extend your right heel and looking either up or to the left. If that's enough for you, then stay here. If you'd like to explore a little bit further, you can just raise the left arm up behind you, either with elbow bent or stretching out a little bit further. And if you really want to open out, take you to the next stage, open your left arm out like a book at shoulder height, palm down, and looking either upwards along your left arm. It's a very strong stretch if you do that version. And also any rotation in this sense is good for your digestive system. And then when you're ready, very gently roll back again onto your back and once more hug both knees into the chest. You might like to pop your feet on the floor just to lift and square you off again, by hugging both knees into the chest. And now in your own time, hugging both knees into the chest, let both knees drift away to arm's length. And do that a few times in your own breath pattern. And then supporting legs underneath to bring them to the mat. Just for a few moments to rest either in constructive rest where the knees come together and the feet come out to the edge of the mat, or come to classic Shavasana for a few moments. Just letting the movement that we've done reabsorb back into the body. And just wherever you are, tense your entire body and then just release and let it go. Bring your attention to your feet, or relax your feet, ankles, knees. Let the hips sink into the ground, the lower abdomen. Be aware of below the abdomen, above the abdomen, to the right and to the left. And bring your attention as you smooth along up to your chest, and further spreading out across to the collarbones and the shoulders, down the upper arms, relaxing the lower arms, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, the thumbs, second finger, third, fourth, little fingers, and the space beyond the fingers. Bringing the attention to the lower back, mid-back, upper back, between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the back of the head, the ears and the space between the ears, the top of the head, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, smoothing across down to the cheekbones and along the jaw, the throat, the chin, come to the lips. Feel the lips slightly apart, the gums pulsating under the lips. And bring your attention to the base of your nostrils and breathing in through the nostrils to a point in the centre of the head. Breathing out, let that breath come down inside you like a transparent mist, and it takes with it anything you don't want today, anything that's not serving you, physical or emotional, and let it just leave through the soles of your feet. And a couple more breaths in your own time, breathing in through the nostrils to a point that you imagine to be the centre of the head. Now, like a shower, the out breath showers and floats, rains down inside you, coming down through the body and leaving through the soles of the feet. And then one more breath. And then come to just moving fingers and toes and hugging the knees once more into the chest. Just rocking once more from side to side. And then we're going to come to finish with some somatic movement we've done before. So roll to the side and really take your time to come to a seated position. Just rub your hands when you're ready, and just place your hands over your closed eyes and then open your eyes into the darkness of the hands and just move them aside. And then just rub your hands again and just smooth your aura down. Bizarrely come to rub your feet, grounding you to reality. Boosting your circulation, and then release that. And come to just for a few breaths, hold your hands to either side of the head. And then one hand goes to the back of the head and the other hand goes to the heart center. The chin might slightly come forward to lengthen the neck. And then you take the hand from the back of the head to your navel center. And then bring your hand to your heart, both hands now at the heart, your heads forward, and just take a moment to have a thought for the day, your Sankalpa, or wish for today, for yourself or for somebody else. And just mentally have that thought a couple of times, and then let that thought drift away. And then just let that all go. The thought and intention has been set for the day. Take a bow for yourself. Thank you very much for joining me today. And then